What is up, everybody? Keith, aka Gator Guy 231, here to break down Wednesday, December 2nd, 6-game Champions League slate. Hope you all did well on Tuesday. I did awesome in the early slate personally with the Shakhtar keeper. I've been very anti-Madrid for a decent amount of time now that they've been having their troubles, and it finally paid off. And, main slate, did not have Payet. Became a did you have Payet or not slate with him at 5,600, 5,700. With 2 PKs, and honest to God, even without the PKs, he was still smashing value. So anyhow, hope you had him. Hope you did well. Just a quick reminder, if you are enjoying the content at FSI, all the free stuff that comes to this channel, bottom right of the screen, hit that subscribe button. Best way you can repay us. And if you are interested in more info and, premium chat, core plays, all that good stuff, in the link, low as $3 a day, you can join up for FSI. Really enjoy what's, become in my opinion, an awesome community to talk soccer and all sorts of fantasy sports in. All right, let's jump into the games. I'm trying to keep this under 20 minutes. I went over yesterday. I'm going to try to keep it under, so let's see how we do. Anyhow, let's jump into the odds, and we will see. Look, this is a Messi Ronaldo slate, right? But once again, no Messi. Did not make the traveling squad. So as a result, even though Barcelona is playing, kind of a minnow team, if they're fair in something, I can still never not see them. We're leg 5, and I still can't say their name, but minus 194. Look, Barcelona still technically is playing for something. Them and Juventus are tied at the top. Whoever's going to win this has a good chance of winning the group. So they're both very, very motivated to play. But both of them may think that they can kind of get away with from resting some guys. Let's keep this in mind. These leagues, it's just insane what they're putting their players through. So we're going to see some rotation, and that's why we're not going to get super, super deep on this preview. Going to kind of just mention the spots and the teams we want to target. And we need to look for news. We need to look for the values that are starting, and there's a decent chance we might get a few on the slate. But I do think Barcelona has a great chance to roll again. I was very, very surprised. I thought Kiev could actually give them a little bit of trouble last week with Messi, and 4-0 later. I was very wrong on that. We'll see if Aaron Versos or whatever their name is can do anything better. But 3 total. Barcelona great over the weekend with Messi. Griezmann looked a little bit frisky, so we'll have to see there. The other big favorite on the slate is Juventus minus 388 at home to Kiev. Ronaldo sat over the weekend, so likely to be entering this. Only at 2.75 totals, so keep that in mind. Next biggest favorite, let's see. It looks like it's Dortmund minus 158 at home to Lazio, which, look, that's giving Dortmund a lot of respect. Lazio is a decent team. We'll have to see how that goes. We have – where's the next one? Chelsea and Sevilla is a true pick-em. 191, 125, 2.5. They're at the top of the table. Again, much like Juventus and Sevilla, they're playing for seeding, not if they're going to move on. Manchester United hosting Paris Saint-Germain. Playing plus 193, plus 148, so a pretty even game, 3 total. And then I think I'm missing one. Club Brugge versus Zenit. That is the game, I'll just tell you. Nobody is going to focus on. So we're going to mention a couple of options from there because that's a game that's going to have no ownership. And, anytime I hear that from a GPP perspective, I kind of want to have some ideas of it. Club Brugge slight favorite, plus 110. Teams out of Russia do struggle. 2.75 total. All right. Let's start with the 2 big games on the slate, which is going to be Barcelona and Juventus. Let's start with Juventus. And because of the slate complexion, I just already mentioned Ronaldo sat out over the weekend, wasn't in the squad. I think that means that he's almost likely to start. Morata, funny enough, got a red card. So I wonder if Pirlo actually rules out Morata here, knowing that he's not going to be able to play the next league game. But the question is 12,000 Ronaldo too much? Look, I'll just say this is how I normally answer these questions. It's too much if he only scores 1 goal and doesn't do a Ronaldo thing. Doesn't take 4 or 5 shots. So if he doesn't score 20, it's probably too much. If he scores 35 or 40, it probably wasn't enough, right? So it is a very results-based thing. I think ultimately, the way I'm going to handle is I'm going to build with Ronaldo because I think he's the best Juve exposure. There's one other guy here in a minute. And then if I make the rest of my lineup and it feels good, I'm rolling it. But if it feels like I'm having 1 or 2 guys that I really want, or I'm making 1 punt too many, and I'm trying to make a case for why X player is a good play, then maybe that's actually the sign to fade him. So that's kind of my Ronaldo take. I think I'm going to play him. Morata 9,500. I don't know, probably not. That seems like too much. But in GPP it's fine. Dybala did start over the weekend. I actually think with with Morata suspended, Dybala is likely to get a rest here. Maybe we'll see Chiesa, Kuleveski, Bernardeschi. All of them are fine. Keep in mind that these logs, they do not include league play. That's only Champions League, so those are a little misleading. They're all good players. I think the lock here is Juan Cuadrado. So here's the interesting thing that I'll just mention to y'all. So Dybala took over him on Saturday, or was it Sunday? Whichever day they played. But before then, Cuadrado had been consistently playing. Look, I was worried they're going to price Cuadrado at 7,500, and I still was going to play him. 6,000 is just too cheap. Even if he lost sets, I still think he's going to get there in open play. So 6,000, lock and load, probably 100% exposure for me. Like I'll live and die with Cuadrado at 6K. I have no problem with it. Alexandra 5,400 is fine. And let's just look there is potential source of value here. I think it's funny after being 3,100 last slate and not doing well, they priced McKinney up to 4,500. Legit, was 2,500 last slate, 3,900 despite not doing well. So they took away some of these punt values from us. But Archer 3,600, yes, is okay. And I'm not going to go crazy with Juventus. It's going to be Ronaldo, Cuadrado, maybe one of Chiesa, Kuleveski, Bernardeschi are in play. On the Kiev side, look, there's nobody here I want to go out of my way to play. If any of them, they're GPP plays, but I don't think anybody's in cash. I just saw him down here. Sharapenko takes an occasional set, has some decent open play value, tackles and fouls drawn. 3,500, you could do worse, but that's about it. So, if I'm doing it, it's probably, I don't know, just kind of keep this on my screen. Ronaldo and Cuadrado is how I'm going to try to attack it. All right. Going to the team I still can't pronounce, Farandeschi. I'm sure somebody's going to correct me on comments. Go for it. That one I'll accept. Versus Barcelona, let's just start out with Farandeschi. Is not DFS friendly at all. So I'm just going to cross them off. Let's not worry about them. If you want a YOLO dart, sure, go for it. But I'm not going to worry about them here. Brathwaite, to me, is just too expensive, especially if he's playing the number 9 route. He's a GPP play, but there's no floor there. Last game, I don't remember exactly what it was. I'm going to bring this up, and hopefully I can close it still. But what was it? Last game versus Kiev. Look, 2 goals on 2 shots. One of them was a PK. He had 1 shot assisted, which happened to result into an assist. So very, very results-oriented decision that he was a good play. Sure, he was a good play, especially on the price, but now he's got 2,500 more. He got very, very fortunate that he was so efficient. Let's just put it that way. But 8,400 GPP, sure. Now, I'm really interested to see if they play Griezmann here. So he played at left wing, Brathwaite through the middle, Messi on the right during the weekend, and Griezmann was awesome. And maybe without Messi, it does give a chance Griezmann to express himself. I'd assume Dembele starts on the right. I saw that Coutinho is out. So likely you'd see Dembele on sets. Maybe Griezmann finally could take 1 or 2. But more than likely you see Trincao taking some. My guess on sets would be something like Trincao, if in Dembele with a split. But I do think that Griezmann is very in play at 7,700. Maybe for the cash play concerning the sets, Dembele's a little bit better play, but I think it's fine. Pedri's now kind of come back to earth the last few weeks, and his price has gone up, so it's probably a decent pass. Des scored last week, but 5,000 is a little expensive. What is interesting, let's see where they have him. Carlos Elena actually split sets the last game. I thought that would be Coutinho and Monopoly or Trincao, but no, it was Elena. So 3,800, that's a decent value. I was talking about maybe values that could help us. So maybe if we see him start, we plug him in here. And all right, even with Ronaldo and Cuadrado in, I'm still, hovering here in the mid tier that I could probably make this work. So see if there's anybody else. Let's see where Junior Firpo was. Junior Firpo last week, I'm still kind of pissed about it. Was a mistake on my part, just overlooking him. I think he was 2,700, and I was locking in legit, and I probably should have gone Firpo. But 3,700 is very fair. It is not a must play. He doesn't cross a ton. That's not what Barcelona fullbacks do. But 3,700 favored fullback, most of the time, even if we don't know who the guy is, he never has a log, we still lock that in. So maybe we don't overthink it with Firpo. All right. I think that's enough from this game. again, so for Barcelona, I think your attackers, I think Griezmann and Dembele are both cash viable. Trincao is okay, but I really do think Elena might be one of the better plays here. And then Brathwaite for GPP. I think you'd probably see like Frankie de Jong and Pjanic in the midfield, and they just don't do a lot for DFS. Maybe you throw them in a stack. But beyond that, I think that's good for this game. Let's jump really to the next game, which I think I want to get to right now, is PSG versus Man U. So I think it's going to have two players in here that a lot of people are going to want. And to be honest, I probably only want one of them. So PSG and Manchester United. Manchester United's had a lot of success versus PSG playing on the counter. Look, when you play on the counter, from a DFS perspective, that means a lot of your guys become goal dependent in the sake of they need an assist or a goal. You're not really getting the floor points. So with Bruno Fernandes, we're not getting probably 8-9 crosses. Now, here's the thing. Telles is questionable, so he might be on Monopoly. But I think I'd prefer Neymar over Fernandes. Neymar draws a lot more fouls. We know he's going to be on some sets. He's like Fernandes. They both are on PKs. I just think I prefer PSG here a little bit. I think United got very lucky on the weekend versus Southampton. They got completely outplayed in the first half. And we're lucky to have somebody like Cavani, #revenge narrative here, come on and salvage the game for them. But I do think that, especially being forward eligible, I can plug in Neymar here. Look, like, I'm just kind of giving you a shell. I have no idea if this is going to be my core. But, like, I could play, like, Ronaldo, Neymar, Elena, Cuadrado here and still be living. Hell, I'm just curious. Honestly, you can't make that work. But, you would drop to drop one. So you're probably going to play Neymar or Bruno in this type of build. But, look, let's just on Neymar. I think it's a really good matchup versus United the first time out. Let's see, 4 shots, 7 crosses, 5 fouls around 15.3 floor points without a goal or assist is very, very elite. And I do think that PSG needs to win here. So I do think we see the good Neymar. So there's a very good chance that Neymar is going to be one of the guys that I am building my lineups around tomorrow. Here's the thing with PSG. If you think they onslaught, you can absolutely go and play Mbappe. 8,600 is a really nice price on him. I think that might make him popular. Di Maria is the better floor player with some corner kicks. But outside of those three, nothing else on PSG ever interests me. Those three just soak up all the DFS goodness. So, I know people will mention Florenzi, maybe, I'm blanking on the left back's name, Kurzawa, but those are his last guys in. Those aren't building blocks for me. Manchester United side, literally the only guy I'm interested in is Bruno Fernandes for cash. GPP side of things, if you want to play Rashford, he is awesome on the counterattack, so I love it. Cavani, I mentioned for revenge narrative. PSG just kind of let him walk. Didn't want to renew the contract. He looked awesome on the weekend, so could definitely see him showing up. He's the kind of guy you look at him and you're just like, oh, that dude is the guy that lives for revenge games. So can see those two. Outside of that, just avoid United, no floors here, nothing that we want to target. But again, from a GPP perspective, if you think just PSG comes out and it's just way too aggressive, I kind of dig for like lower owned stacks, maybe like Bruno, Rashford, Cavani. I don't think a lot of people will be that interested in doing that. And maybe you run it back with, is De Gea injured? I know he left. He's questionable, so, maybe like a Dean Henderson. Like, there's a stack that not many people are going to be on. I'm not saying it's going to hit, just if you want a low-owned place to go. Crazier things have happened. All right. We have 3 more games left. Let's go to Lazio and Dortmund. I'm not a Dortmund fan, really, ever. I think the last 2 games have shown a lot. Look, Dortmund, they don't shoot a lot. Like, they have to be selective in shooting. Their coach drills in them that they're not, like, supposed to be taking long-range shots. There's like, places on the field that they have to take shots from. They don't cross the ball a lot. So you have to get the goals to make Dortmund work. Haaland is a fine play. Just for 800 more, I'll take Ronaldo, and for 1,000 less, I'll take Neymar. So that makes, maybe Haaland goes lower owned, so go for it. Sancho, again, another guy that the floor is just not lovely. I will gladly pay 1,100 more for Neymar. If I don't have 1,100, look, I think Sancho's fine, especially Lazio is a team that likes playing the counter, so they should concede a lot of possession to Dortmund. But I guess I'm just not that happy, or not that, like, over the moon to talk about or roster Dortmund, so I'm just probably not going to do that much. There is one guy I kind of want to mention. Gio Reyna, 5,700 is fine. Just with Sancho on, their sets are kind of a mess and aren't that like vital anyways. So 5,700 is solid. But I do want to mention, so Munir is out. I saw, let's double check. I don't even see his price. All right, I'm going to have to type it in. Why can't I'm just going to just, oh, I think it's MEU. There we go, 43. He's out. Last season, we got a few times this Matteo Mori was actually half decent. I think I rostered him in Champions League last year for like 2,800 low own. I think it was like 10 or 11 DK. So he could play right wing back. 3,200, that would be hard to pass on. So especially with kind of the build that I'm leading you on. So like, let's see if we got him. You know, now we're at like about 5,000 left. All right, I can make this work. I can find a midfielder, pay down at keeper, and still have a good utility to go from here. So that's an interesting type of build. I'm going to X a few of these out just so I don't have too much going away. But that's kind of how I'm thinking about building. All right, from Lazio's side of things, look, Dortmund controls the ball a ton. So if you're going to play anybody on Lazio, to me, it's Immobile at what's he priced at? 8,700 is fine. Alberto is really interesting at 6,900. That's just a floor play. He's got to keep in mind, against a team like Dortmund that sucks possession, it's hard to play floor plays. They just don't get their floor opportunities. So I think if I played anybody, it would be Immobile, maybe Correa, to be, half the owner. He'll be like less than 7 or 8% owned if he shows up with a goal. That's fine. All right, Chelsea versus Sevilla. I got nothing here. I really think Chelsea is just terrible for DFS when they're not scoring. They're actually becoming very Dortmund-like. The fullbacks are good. Chilwell and James get involved. Ziyech is okay. But look, their sets are a mess. They don't cross the ball a ton. If Werner isn't scoring, he's not hitting value. If Ziyech isn't getting a goal or assist, he's not giving you any sort of like score that you have to win a GPP. This isn't Ajax's Ziyech. And then, you get your fullbacks. Where are they? Chilwell, 6,500. That's way overpriced now that he doesn't have sets. And Reece James is 6,300. That's way too much versus Sevilla. So, no, just Chelsea, to me, is just a pass. If you want to stack them up for GPP, go for it. I just don't think so. Sevilla's a good team. And then on the other side, yes, Sevilla's a good team, but so is Chelsea. So, and like Sevilla, really can struggle to score. And I just don't know how much like opportunities. This could just be kind of a crappy game. Neither team, both teams might be okay with the draw here. So I think this is just a fade. Where's Joe and Jordan? Maybe if he starts, 5,200 is okay. I'd rather have Elena at 3,800. But, if I'm stuck here, Acuna 5,000, Navas 5,300. So those are the three. Ocampos 8,100? No, not in this matchup. So, yeah, I think the best three plays are probably on Sevilla's side. And I'm not that interested in any of them. So, yeah, this game's just a pass. Zenit and Bruges. So I tried this the last game. Yeah, look at this. I'm going to be doing well. This is the last game. This game is going to be 0 owned. And I think there's one play that I'm actually very interested in, which is Malcolm. So kind of quick history on Malcolm, if you don't know. So he was, oh dear God, I'm going to blank on the French team he was on. Bordeaux. He was phenomenal at Bordeaux. I feel like that was the year that interleague started coming to be a thing. And he was just like a lock when we get those slates. It was awesome for them. Got the big move to Barcelona. It was absolutely terrible. I think he went on loan somewhere. I'm actually blanking where he went on loan to. It was like rumored to Everton. Then I think that fell through. I'm trying to remember where he ended up. I think he maybe ended up one stop before that. Maybe that was a loan. And then goes to Zenit, where we completely forget about him. He's a good DFS player. Takes some set pieces, is an active shooter, draws fouls. 6,300 is really, really interesting versus a Bruges team that can give up DFS goodness. I guess kind of my bold call is that Malcolm has a lot of the similarities of a Payet game here, and he will be a lot lesser owned than Payet. So I think Malcolm's really interesting if he starts. He split sets over the weekend with Driussi. Those two really don't compare to me. I'd much rather take Malcolm all day. And then Jumba, if he's in, I didn't look too much on this formation, but, huge striker, really, really good correlative play, too, with Malcolm, goal assist type of combo. So I think that's about Zenit. I don't really like anybody else there. On the Bruges side of things, so the sets are Ruud Vormer at 5,800 is fine, especially if you think that Bruges – this game's important for these teams because Zenit has money, Bruges not so much, but both are still going to want to go to Europa League. So I do think they give it kind of they kind of play for the win here. Vormer's 55, 5,800. The team's leading scorer is Hans Vanaken. I think he's tied with who was it? It's not Dennis. Oh, this is terrible. That I don't know. Oh, it's Diatta. I believe in the league play. I think they're tied at the top, but both good plays. 4,700 for Vanaken. He's on PKs and is an active shooter. He's a Dutch national. So doesn't give you set piece, but 4,700 is pretty solid. Noah Lang has actually been really good too. I think he's on loan from Ajax, or maybe he got sold, but good player, 4,400. Again, these are guys like nobody's going to own, but there could be some value here. If this game goes 2-2, 3-3, like Enter and Gladbach today, like Yahtzee, and look, the most expensive player is 6,500. So look here for some GPP looks. I think that you will be happy with the ownership, and may not have to pay that much to do it anyways. All right, guys, that's going to do it for DK. Quickly on FanDuel, I think you're going to be locking in Ronaldo. I would also lock in Cuadrado. I just think he does that much. I normally like to pay down at defender, but I think he's a good player. I think he's defender eligible on FanDuel. Outside of that, I think Neymar. FanDuel's always going to have a few misprices, especially when there's squad rotation. So, if I start with Ronaldo, Neymar, and Cuadrado, I think I'll be pretty happy. Then maybe you can look at the Barcelona guys. I do think they're going to score a few goals. So maybe you get Trincao cheap, something like that, and you can go from there. Well, guys, that is going to do it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Once again, Keith, a.k.a. GatorGuy231. Good luck on your contest. And with that we say, see ya. Bye.